All right. So, Matt Brett again, General Manager of the Armories in Kissimmee, taking the time to speak to several veterans that work for our company. And I want to let them introduce themselves because half of them I can't pronounce their names. But we have JD and we have Nolan. So we'll start with JD.
All right, JD, like you said, Jesuani, Dalmau, served in the United States Army. Did about 6.5 years in the infantry up at Fort Stewart, 130th. Did a little bit of my time there. Decided to stay stabilization since I lived in Florida, and who wants to travel far whenever you have time and leave. Deployed in 2012. After that, I got some time in the S3 shop where I got connected with sergeant majors and the colonels, and then I ended up picking up E5, and then after that, my intentions were to do 20 years in the Army, but unfortunately, I got hurt in Afghanistan, so I ended up getting discharged. But, my time in the Army was, I would say pretty great, had some good and, bad moments, but I think overall it was pretty good.
Let me circle back to you in Afghanistan in a few minutes, if it's okay with you.
Yeah, let's go back.
Nolan, why don't you tell us a little bit about how long you're in, what you went in as?
Yeah. Like Matt said, my name's Nolan. I did 4 years in the United States Marine Corps era, and I think I got at least the only jarhead here.
Right now you are.
Yeah.
Right now. I was FMF, but...
Yeah. No, I did 4 years. I was stationed at Cherry Point, North Carolina. I was a 35-31, 35-34 motor transport operator.
Right.
Yep. And then I went to refueling school as well. Mm-hmm. So I was on the flight line a lot, refueled all sorts of aircraft, C-130s, a lot of helos.
Keep everything running, man.
Yep, exactly.
Keep everything running.
Still pretty fresh out, only a year out of the military. So it's a very different experience because I don't have a lot of other experience besides the Marine Corps. And jumping from military to civilian, just like that.
Kind of a rough transition, or?
It's interesting. I'm glad that I started working at the Armories at least, because it's kind of I was scared to actually find like my first job out of the military because I had no idea what was gonna happen. But it's a very comfortable environment too.
Okay.
So I can actually.
I was saying the same thing, man.
Yeah.
I'm a year out, and just working with vets, it makes it that much easier.
Yeah. Even just working with one vet, it makes things so much better.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more, man. I couldn't agree with you more. So let me ask you, man, why did you get into the Marine Corps?
So my immediate family, there's no one in the military.
Okay.
So I'm kind of like the black sheep of the family. Both my brothers, they went to college, graduated high school with great GPAs. I barely graduated high school.
That's a common theme with the group of us, man.
Yeah.
The Armories.
Yep. So, and then I had like my grandparents, they were World War II veterans, Korean War veterans, and then
Now, those guys were hard, man. Korea.
Oh, absolutely.
Korea was, they call it the Forgotten War, but
Yeah.
honestly, man, those guys were thrown into a situation that nobody saw coming.
Tough as nails.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And frozen chosen.
it's insane. It really is. But I'm the first Marine in my family. So, and then I was like, you know what? Go big or go home.
Yeah.
I was like, let's just try it. And because I know college was not for me at all. Yeah,
I'm with you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not for me.
I think we have more GEDs and degrees in this, this group,
Yep,
man.
probably. But yeah, that's about me.
Well, very cool, man. So, JD, what was your MOS?
11 Bravo infantry.
Bang, bang. You and Tim were both, right? Both infantry.
Yep, infantry.
All right. What year did you go to Afghanistan?
I deployed in 2012, February, and I did 9 months. We were the first unit mechanized to go as light infantry, and it was a joint operations. We went in 9 months. We left the Bradleys at home, and just teamed up with team guys and did our thing.
So, just so I understand, the U.S. Army spent all this money training you how to drive Bradleys, and then sent you to walk around Afghanistan.
Yep, pretty much a whole.
That sounds about right.
Rotation of training,
real,
and we leave our toys behind and go,
Surprise.
light.
Yeah.
That's how the story goes.
So, where in Afghanistan were you?
So I was at Faryab province, which is gonna be far west, and then we did that, winter time, so not a lot of fighting, and then
Yeah, they do the
summertime
springtime
came back.
thing, right?
Yep, I went to Paktika province, which was close to the border of Pakistan.
Yep.
So
Been there.
those guys were pretty hot. We had local nationals giving us backup, so they kind of did some of the work too.
What did you think of those guys?
Uh,
That was the ANA, right? Is that what they call them?
yeah, pretty good guys. You know, those are the type of guys that you come over and they'll take care of you. You know, they'll put you first. So I like working with those type of guys. You know, it's a different mentality. You go over there thinking everybody's hot for your head because
Right.
you're American.
I was
but-
saying the same thing earlier.
Yep.
Yeah, they're all good. They'll take care of visitors and the guys. They're there to help them out. And establish their country, make it better.
In relation to where he was, where were you?
I was around the same area.
Okay.
Yeah, for the majority of my deployments, I was in East Paktika, same area.
All right. So super interesting, man. One company, right? And there's 13 of us who are veterans, and you guys serve close to each other. Which says a lot about how.
I'm sure I've seen him once or twice, just not knowing
Just another
it, right?
interpreter.
Yeah, right. I was telling them, they were like,
They
you're
love the beer.
Yeah.
I was with the team guys, so I didn't have to shave them. They kind of like that.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not Afghan, but I know I fit in. So pretty good.
Any high points from your deployment?
Any what?
Any high points? Anything that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, the food was pretty good.
Yeah, he's not lying.
You're
Yeah.
always working, nonstop security. Head was on the swivel, but no, I had a good time. No regrets. I'll definitely do it again with the same guys. Those guys, the Afghan people, a lot of guys think, hey, because they're defending or they did whatever they did and we invaded. Those are actually good people. We go over there and they treated me pretty well. So
I was
I had
saying the
fun
same
taking
thing.
out, their enemies and helping them out.
Oh, that's awesome, man. So let me ask you, why did you get into the Army?
Well, like he said, the schooling, I've not really too good. I didn't like the schooling or anything, so I was like,
Hell
I
no.
wanted to join the military,
Hell no.
and then I said, infantry. Everybody talks about the Army, and what do the Army? The Army goes and they fight the enemy, and they take it to them. So I was like, why not do the infantry?
Okay.
Something that I might have fun.
Bring
and,
the fight.
yeah, bring the fight to them.
Yeah, that's good. So let me ask you, young man. So you did 4 years.
Yeah.
Did you any deployments?
No, unfortunately, that kind of makes me the black sheep too. I kind of joined at that point where
Right in the
Don't
middle.
be ashamed,
Don't be
man.
ashamed of it, though.
I mean, I pushed and I pushed. Like my unit just wasn't really there, and I always volunteered, even if it wasn't like a combat deployment.
Right.
Like I still wanted to go overseas
Okay.
and do something. Unfortunately, I did not get that opportunity.
Well, quite honestly, man, you may be luckier for it.
I that's what everyone always says, but at the same time, like I don't know if it's like the guilt factor. To
Hey,
it.
man, at the end of the
It's-
day, you signed up for it, and you just didn't have the opportunity.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, I was trying. I tried my hardest. Like I said, I volunteered all the time, making sure that like if even if it was with a different unit,
Right.
like I was always trying to make connections with buddies from different units, like from Cherry Point or
Mm-hmm.
Camp Lejeune or New River or anything like that. And
The driftwood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then it just it didn't happen. But I had a lot of great training, like fantastic training.
Mm-hmm.
You got something out of
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
man, absolutely.
Being with Motor T and like truck driving, like
Mm-hmm.
infantry, like y'all like to hop in my trucks. So I'm just letting you know.
Also, one team.
Fuck it, let's truck
yeah.
it. Yeah. I mean, and I said it earlier, man. In the Marine Corps, it's like 7 guys to get to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Right. And the Army, heavy as hell. It's like 9 guys to get to pull the trigger,
Yeah.
man. And there is, everyone jokes into service or
Yeah,
breaks everybody's balls. At the end of
Yeah.
the day, man, you're not going to pull that trigger if there's somebody not putting gas in the truck, if there's somebody not feeding you,
Yeah.
somebody not building that building, putting
Yep.
a roof over your head. It's you did your time,
yeah,
and 1% of the American population has served.
yeah.
There's 335 million people in this country, and 1% of that has put a uniform on.
I would definitely do it in a heartbeat again.
Mm-hmm.
Even though all the dumb shit that we've gone through and everything like
Well,
that.
It's
You
part
le-
of the
you can't- yeah,
experience.
exactly.
It's just
You
it's
can't
just-
leave people alone,
it's
man.
part of it, but at the same time, like it's a great experience. Like I said at the beginning, it's just super humbling. Like I have no idea who I would be if I did not join the military.
Right.
And like it's a completely mind-blowing experience.
So
It
let me
really is.
ask you then, what traits or skills you thought you took out of the Marine Corps that helped you at the Armories?
So definitely, obviously, when it comes down to like driving, because I drove different variants of vehicles, and it's and that training even because I did a lot of security training work too, like high value targets, transporting this equipment, gear, personnel, anything like that. and learning how to communicate, especially like over radios.
Right.
Being calm, being diligent, being thorough through everything like that.
One of the things, just to touch on what you just said, man, one of the things I've noticed is that the veterans that we hire are probably a little more attentive to serialize things.
Yeah.
Right? Firearms
Yeah.
all have serial numbers,
Absolutely. Yep.
suppressors. We're a little bit, because there isn't a single person who's worn a uniform that wasn't beaten to death about serial numbers.
Yeah.
Especially when you have to sign for it all.
You grab the wrong rifle and you go to serial number check, and then
Yeah.
you like, oh.
They all look alike,
Fuck.
man. They all look alike.
Yep.
What about you, JD? Anything that would have prepared you working at the Armories you feel is helpful?
Yeah, like you said, acknowledgement on weapons. First time I've held a gun was in the Army. I've never shot before that. I've never even touched a gun. So, joining the military has helped me, gain some knowledge with that. And then not only that, just working with people, different types of people.
That's key,
And,
man. Right? You never know who's
being
walking
a
through the
team
door.
player.
Team player is another great one. Now, I understand that recently they were able to get you into the gunsmithing program.
Yeah, so now I'm, starting the gunsmithing program with the Armories. I started last week. Pretty excited for it. I got the opportunity to show what I can do, and I'm eager and ready to do that. So, yeah, I'm ready to get this show on the roll and be a part of
man.
this family.
That's
We all
forever.
need you, bro.
Yeah.
That
we
is
need you.
true. We do.
No, but that's the thing, man, is that we look for the skills as a company, but, we want to give back to the veteran community. We want to get veterans employed. Guys coming right out is a great place. Guys who are struggling. Guys who aren't even aware of what they want to do. I personally have found this company has really allowed us as veterans. They do a tremendous amount to recognize us.
And we appreciate the Armories. We do.
We do. Yeah, and it's not a commercial. It really is. I mean, I've worked for a lot of companies in my years, and the reality of it is these guys do take care of us. But when you guys got in, what was the shock at boot camp? What did you feel?
You can watch like all the YouTube videos you want, and your recruiter can tell you, whatever he or she wants to tell you, but it's the experience that really gets you. So just the whole cultural shock, I think, for me.
Okay.
Like, it was just,
You got no choice at that point.
you really don't. Like, the second you get on that bus and the second you walk on, at least for the Marine Corps, the yellow footprints that so many other Marines have just stood on for the very first time.
That Shark Week, what is it? Shark Day is a
Yeah,
waker.
Yeah. So it's
Get you
just,
ready.
yeah, it's just like,
It's a wake-up call
it
for
really
sure.
is, yeah.
Now, you guys all, do you feel like, I look up at the wall, man, I see Chesty Puller, I see Patton, right? Good night, Chesty. MacArthur. These are guys that stood before you.
Yeah.
Do you feel that connection to the lineages?
Like I said earlier, you gotta set it up for the next generation, but it's a big boot to fill. Everybody that was there before us. That's why I took it upon myself to make it better and better and better every time.
Yep.
Because them dudes, there's nothing like those guys before us. And even with us now, I can honestly say there's nobody like those guys before us.
Yeah.
We try to replicate or whatever. At the end of the
it's
day, we're just
not
trying to
gonna
keep
happen.
the standard high.
Yep.
And that's the thing, is standards, right? When you look at it, like, here we are now, we've been 20 years almost in Afghanistan. We went into Iraq in 2003 to 2013, I think it was. So we had two fronts for almost 2 decades going on, and every other little skirmish that we've had on the planet. And the military demands a lot from us. It really does, man.
A lot of sacrifice.
A lot of sacrifice. And let's talk a little bit about sacrifice.
Like, I wasn't deployed, but I was gone in the field a lot when it comes like California, Arizona.
But that takes a toll on you.
Yeah, even though it's in the United States, like, I'm still gone for 3-4 months at a time.
Very
All
hard
that
to keep.
comfort is gone,
That's
man.
it,
Yeah.
man.
But you meet new family. You have new people
Yeah.
you
Good
meet
point.
with. You bond with new guys, and then
Yep.
you get the task done with the
The
new
fra-
family that you meet.
Yep, the phrase "just embrace the suck," like it
See,
really
and we've
comes-
heard that 3 times now. Right?
Yep.
Embrace the suck, man.
because you're not the only one there. You're with you're with your boys,
Right.
and like, even if like your staff sergeants or something are busting your ass, you still got your lance corporals, your corporals.
E4 Mafia.
There you go, baby. And just like that. So
And I'll tell you, my father enlisted in the U.S. Army in the 50s. right? Post World War II, not quite Korea. And he said his one claim to fame was that nobody invaded Virginia when he was there. You know? But
Shit.
what I took out of his experiences in the Army was it's just a continuation of line,
Yeah.
right? We have the blood stripe in the Marine Corps,
Yep.
right? There's every one of our services has traditions designed to connect you back to the ones that have gone before us, man. Like the Navy.
Although times have changed.
Times have changed.
You can't do that shit anymore. But
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of stuff we can't do right now, man. But a lot of stuff we do continue. Not just the traditions are there for a reason, but a lot of it. I mean, when I look at you look at the birthdays for the services, right?
Yep.
They celebrate them everywhere. Doesn't matter where you are, man. They remind you youngest and oldest, right? Mm-hmm. Those things are super important, man. So, how was your transition when you got out, if you don't mind my asking?
It was actually pretty easy for me. I left from Georgia and I moved down to Florida, like I said. Went straight into school. I took advantage of the GI Bill. And yes, like I said, joined the Armories. They're into firearms and whatnot. So we got into that, and it was actually pretty easy for me. I have here the friends and, veterans that, work with me as well. So they kind of know how it operated when I was in. So it's kind of a flow when I got
makes
out.
it a lot easier.
A lot easier.
Yeah, it does.
You're able to transition. A lot of times it's the support that we need, right? So when you think about your families, you think about the career path, you want to find a place to land, right? So the skills that you had in the Army allowed you to go to school, and landed you over here. So was there anything in particular that you took from the military experience that helps you in your daily life?
Yeah, my leadership experience that I've done, in the Army, has brought me, pretty much the owners and management, have confidence in me and the things that I have to do here in the Armory. So, yeah, I feel like me, being in there and learning all the things I've learned has helped me, transition into the civilian world.
All right, very cool, man. So other than Afghanistan, did you go anywhere else?
I did some training in Louisiana, in the swamps.
Fort
Fuck
Not
that
too
place.
fun. Not too fun. And then, the desert in California and
Is
Nevada.
that Irwin,
so-
another place?
Yeah, NTC and JRTC is everybody's fucking hell.
Yeah, the training was good, but like you said, hell. But hey, you adapt, you learn, and
Oh, yeah.
you push through.
Overcome, man.
Yep.
So in your career, Nolan,
Yeah.
the time you're in the Marine Corps, did anybody mentor you? Did anybody reach out and say, hey, if you do this one thing, you'll be successful?
I had a lot of great. I wouldn't say my leadership was perfect. I had those select few, especially staff NCOs, that I would look up to, and that I would try and just absorb all their information, because I knew that they were the ones that if I were to be deployed, or if I had to be in that situation, I would want to be under their leadership.
You can rely on them.
Yeah.
That's the key.
And I mean, there's a lot of other leadership that kind of fucked me over, but it is what it is. Yep.
But the reality of it is, man, is leadership of people.
Yep.
Right? Everybody's got an agenda, whether it's just to get through my 4 years or just to get through my 8 years. Everybody's got an agenda.
Yeah.
So from your service, what would you say one piece of advice to like a young man or a young woman who wants to get into the military?
Honestly, with everyone that I've talked to, that specifically the Marine Corps, I tell them straight up, don't be a bitch. No, legit.
And you heard it here first, folks. Don't be a bitch.
Yep. Just kind of take it with a grain of salt.
You're not going to die.
You are not going to die unless
Quite possible, but
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, but it's just it sucks, but it's just temporary. That's
it's so much easier to look back and go, man, that was better than I thought it was when I was there.
Oh yeah.
you almost miss that shit when
Yeah.
you're
Right.
fucking freezing your ass off with a bunch of other dudes that are freezing.
Spooning on top
Yeah,
of you.
dude,
Yep.
it's like, damn.
You're 17,
socks.
18 years old, and you're showering naked with a bunch of 100
That's
other
really
dudes.
specific to the Marine Corps.
Oh yeah.
But-
Oh yeah. But I mean, don't be a bitch.
Don't be a bitch.
That's what I gotta say about it. Yeah.
Brother, how about you? Anything you'd say to these kids?
Yeah, to that I would say go to school. I look back and I'm like, man, I wish when I was a private I would have taking the time, to go to school and get some of that education in, and instead of wait and use my GI Bill. The Army and the whole military pays for that. So I would say, take advantage and, go to school while you're in. You have the time now. So
It's
I would
there
say
and it's
probably-
free.
Yeah, and it's free.
Yeah.
So.
Money's paid for, man. Well, guys, I do appreciate you taking the times to speak with us. Thank you for your service. It really is important to the armories that you guys feel as part of the team.
Cheers,
Thank you,
brothers.
and I appreciate Matt you for having us
Here's
here.
to your health.
There you go.
God bless you guys. Thank you very much. Cigar.